At least that's what I think. Because if she really was trying, no other continent would stand a chance. Especially since she has the access to Histoire, the ultimate secretary, if you want to put it that way. She has so many resources that it doesn't make any sense for Neptune to constantly be in debt. Because if you notice, she's always the character with the lowest shares at the start of the games. I guess I've calmed down a bit. Okay. What was Ultra Blonde's purpose? She wanted to fight them, but I don't think she thought this one through. Which is perfect, because this really shows how well the Seven Sages could play a character like Blonde in a very deceitful way. That it's quite effective. I can make up all the excuses I want. But they meet. I just want to say, I love this image. For so many reasons. First of all, we got Plutia and Neptune back here, pretending to hide with these twigs, even though they're very exposed. Blonde completely sees it, but doesn't care because this smug idiot is staring her down. And it really just shows the huge difference between the hyper versions and the ultra versions of the characters. But this is one of those things that a lot of the fans, when this game came out, weren't too keen on at the time. So I think Rebirth 3 is one of those games that actually gets better with hindsight. Playing this for the first time, this is probably a really cool introduction to see the characters. But at the same time, these are not the main versions of the characters that we're going to be dealing with in the series for most of the time. At least that's my 2 cents on it. Notice how the full goddess characters have the power button iris in their eyes. That's fully lit up. But if you look at the candidate characters, I don't think they're ever completely 100% lit up. Which really does go to separate them. And I hope that one day that gets brought up in an official game. And if it's in Sisters vs. Sisters, which is going to be out by the time this Let's Play is finished, that's even better. A lot better. You can't let into our basilicon, that's fine. See, even Blonde is saying, look, great job on your construction of a company running it, but actually being a leader is something this Noir has not done yet in a combat situation. This Noir is definitely a leader in domestic affairs, but in foreign affairs, she probably hasn't been capable of experimenting, because her only other foreign affair besides Blonde, who is an isolationist, is the incompetent Plutia here. And she's not going to be the best example to learn from when dealing with foreigners, because they were already friends at the start of the game. Why does... You know, I completely forget that Neptune makes Blonde out to be this devil. And even she comments, she exaggerates, but I really did forget that Neptune really just throws people under the bus in this game. She really just did Blonde, the Hyper Blonde, that dirty to Plutia, who doesn't even know the Hyper Blonde. I mean, the first thing she does is land on Noir after lazing around for years, so you can't really say that she's the best person. Honestly, I think Neptune becoming slightly sadistic in this game, specifically what she allows to happen to the candidates in one of the endings, must be from the fact that she's been hanging out with Plutia for so long. And we are still so early into the game that it doesn't really seem as if Plutia over here is going to act in this way to such a degree, to a point where Netgear has to point out that she can't do anything to a kid. And I do like the slight changes to their faces that makes Plutia look more evil without the necessity. Who are trying and failing. Okay, so she could see them. I just wanted to point that out.
プラネテューヌの女神よ、一応。付き合う相手は選んだ方がいいんじゃねえか。
Blonde has the right idea here. Okay, Blackheart is not doing very well. Could this be considered a international visit? What kind of talk was Whiteheart trying to do? What was she trying to do? What was her goal here? I'll tell you what, it shouldn't have a goal. The Seven Sages played her super well, and I do like this level of writing, because it adds the tension here. These characters, specifically, Noir has no idea that the Seven Sages are the ones who directed this, so she has everything directed towards Blonde. But Blonde is really being directed by someone else, which leads to their team up in the later chapters, you know, when they're all in jail, and they get broken up by Vert, to be all the more satisfying. In a writing sense. That is, this kind of writing I really like. And I just like pointing out why I like this game so much. Because a lot of the Let's Plays that aren't Lost Pauses Let's Play, the ones that I've seen anyways, some of them really talk shit about the story of this game. And I don't get why. Sure, Neptune is grossly out of character in some instances. But the actual writing and the gameplay is fine. Okay, this is one of the better of the main series battle mechanics. I actually like this a lot more than, say, Mark II's battle mechanics, even though they're roughly the same thing. The presentation is cleaner in this one. And of course, we always have these fourth wall break interludes in the game. This is a Neptunia game, I probably shouldn't think about it too much, but... Well, when I like something, I like thinking about it. I really do. That is the kind of writing that I do like from Neptunia. That's unique. Okay, this fourth wall meta dialogue is really good.
我が国のゲーム工場が何者かの襲撃を受けているとの報告を受けまして、それで慌てて。
何ですって？その何者か
The Seven Sages, obviously.
いえ、わかりません。わからないから何者かなわけでして。
Finally, someone explain that.
人数とか規模とか大体の報告はあったでしょ？
ああ、すみません。そこまで聞いてきませんでした。
This poor guy is getting fired.
この仕事終わったらクビね。
Thank you.
とにかく急いで向かわないと。
Noir.
ちょっと、ルビーの女神。なんだよ。
Why does Blonde look flustered? Isn't she more experienced?
結局何しに来たかわからないけど、これ以上余計なことするんじゃないわよ。いいわね。なんかこの流れ2回目な気もするけど。
Yeah, this did happen to you before Neptune in the previous game. And also in the game that isn't canon, the first game.
Bye bye.
Damn, get played, Blonde. Get played super hard. You know, I thought there was a boss here. I guess not. Party. I'll come here. Jinguji K. Plans again? For the next character, which would be Marvelous. Oh, I guess I don't have enough. You know, I thought I did have enough. I guess I was wrong. Anyways, party has been re-established. Let's continue. I am not fighting that thing again. As much XP as it gives, it's not worth it. Okay, this juice is not worth the squeeze, and I will stand by that statement. I don't have to fight anything here either. I mean, if I get hit, I get hit, so I have to fight things, but for the most part, I'm not going to be fighting things needlessly. But Tokimeki, I will happily hunt down. I need as many of these things as I can get for the moment. So we got a Tokimeki from the Tokimeki. Let's actually hunt down this other Tokimeki. These enemies just keep falling and falling, easily and easily, to the point where they're sometimes not even a challenge anymore. With complete certainty, there was no requirement of me to fight it, but for some reason I wanted to. Marvelous AQL. Keep the peeping down. The equipment for Marvelous. Let's check her out. orange. Interesting. So she's kind of like Uzume. Good to know. Pretty simple. Very simple indeed. And I think this is a great spot to end it. We've been going on for quite a while. Kazurat Facility. Sony Wetlands. Okay? Okay, you know what? I'll do the cuts. I'll do the informations first. The blonde over here, when she changes, you know, the color scheme looks like old PE uniforms. It's so cool. I agree, it does kind of look like that. I like it. I got an event in both areas. Unbelievable. Uniformation. No audit. Oh, is this when they're talking about the whole thing that potentially Louis works with the Shitsugenjin? Pretty much. I believe that's what this is. Or is it the whole thing that they're all into little girls? I don't remember which one it is. You know, you would think I play this... Well, I watch Let's Plays of this enough times that I would know. And yet, somehow... Were they talking about cocaine? Hold on! That got dark. Can you imagine drug abuse in Neptunia? What would that entail? Would just Neptune be snorting pudding or something? We're gonna have Uni injecting curry into her veins while, I don't know, while kissing a picture of Nepgear just for the sake of fan service. What? Why did Plutia say thank you? Oh, right. These guys. I wonder if I can beat the the closed captions generator and have it generate the message in English instead of Japanese. Because in the previous attempts, it would just upload it in Japanese. Some of the parts, if you click closed caption, it'll give you Japanese, not English. And I find that really funny, given that we speak primarily English in this channel. Don't get me wrong, I've occasionally broken into Spanish and Japanese, but nowhere near as much as I've spoken English. Okay. You know, this really does seem to be a reference on the government spreading drugs in other countries to destroy their GDP and their family unit. And if that is the case, this is really subtle and I like it, but I highly doubt they were thinking that at the time. Because that's kind of dark. Now this series has had some crazy dark moments, okay? The bad ending of Maggie Dimension, the bad ending of Mark II are the best examples. But even then, we have an entire CPU, you know, Uranus, who pretty much only really lived for 5 years and was defeated by, I believe, R4. I forget how Uranus died. But she wasn't that long. She only reigned for 5 years. Based on dialogue that we got from V2. Wait. Guilty until... Never mind. Noir is definitely a communist. I don't think so. I think she's a... Okay, so politically she's a socialist, but economically she's a capitalist. That's the only way I could theoretically see her political party in the Neptunia continuity. If anyone else has an idea, you know what do you think everyone's political affiliation is for Neptunia among the characters? Has to. I want to know. I want to know what people think. What party would these people be representing if we look at real world parties from the planet Earth? What enemies? I guess I'll show this off. Because these are... Whoa, enemies that actually survived attacks from Estoir? That's new. That is quite new indeed. Can I get them both at once? Yes, I can. Alright, Thirsty. Let's see how this goes for you. Honestly, did not go very well for them. Good. Wait. Now I'm lost. What was actually going on in this scene? Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And yet somehow it does. Can you imagine this was ASIC? The Ultra version of ASIC running this around? That would be cool too. You know, that ASIC is just the sprouting roots and they haven't developed all the way yet. Whereas ASIC was in full power in the Hyperdimension. I think that would have been a nice little callback to the game that came out previously. And that would have been really cool. But my livelihood. Or are these the monster discs from... No, they're not, because they attract monsters. Not contain monsters. Or are they called enemy discs? I'm trying to remember what they were called. You bake your cookies, I'll never sell the power itself. Okay. So Plutia has eaten this guy's cookies before. That could be taken really out of context. And I am okay with that. I am completely okay with that. What? Neptune is really trusting of consumables given to her by complete strangers. I guess all that time with Kampa, which I don't even think that scene is canon. I know that there's a cutscene in Mark II that explains how IF, Kampa, and Neptune met, and it's a bit different from the Rebirth 1 original Hyperdimension Neptunia reverse meeting. But it's still vague enough. Actually, I'm pretty sure that Neptune liking pudding is only in the remakes. I don't think Neptune liking pudding that much comes from the original Neptunia. Because she talks about cake more than pudding in that game. Okay. Last station event. Oh. Guild report quest. The ultimate ingredient. Done. Protagonist requisites. Challenger. They're on the move. Underground. Mushrooms versus bamboo. Okay. These shouldn't be that difficult to do. Not at all. But I have some things to do. This was a really long episode, so I'm going to call it for today. System save. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed.